Welcome to the Dr. J.J. Thomas Podcast.
So we're going to talk about, so if you go back, if in your brain you go back to that slide that was like, we want to train frontal plane, sagittal plane, transverse plane. We want to train anti-rotation and rotation, and we want to train lateral motion, and we want to train like symmetrical training and asymmetrical training. And then we compare those concepts also to the concepts earlier on in the lecture, which is how to tie in developmental postures, right? How to tie in developmental sequencing. What we realize is that a lot of our traditional exercise, well, traditional, not traditional, whatever, a lot of exercises that we use for different patient populations can be actually applied in the same scenario. So what I'm going to go through is the first phases of a Turkish Get-Up, because the Turkish Get-Up, it solves a lot of things. First of all, it's very similar to what we need to establish for rolling patterns, and we know that's a really important developmental stage. It also gives that primary shoulder stability piece. So using the shoulder to drive up and stabilize the shoulder musculature for scapular stability, and then as you start to progress the Turkish Get-Up, it relates directly to core stability patterns. So I want you guys, so again, I'm just reminding you all that this is still in the neck restriction with jaw component, because we still need all of those patterns. And so I'll go through, I'm just going to talk through like the first couple. So a lot of times when I teach Turkish Get-Up, I'll teach it bottom up and then top down, and then eventually put it together for them. For somebody with an upper cervical jaw restriction, I may just do that like a quarter, what they would call like a quarter Get-Up. So it's in this position. If you're holding a kettlebell, usually you want to make sure knuckles are up. So patients will do this, and that is not helpful because the body is a system. And the hand, I'll just diverge for a second because that's what I do. The hand muscles are like the arch muscles of the foot as they relate to the arm. So if our patients aren't integrating their hand muscles in their upper extremity motions, they're missing out on part of that input mechanism that they need to translate it into something meaningful. So if they can't hold a kettlebell in this way with the knuckles up and the wrist in neutral, then go to a dumbbell, is the long-winded way of saying that. But yeah, if we see this, then we need to switch them to a dumbbell or teach them how to hold a kettlebell so their knuckles are up, so that my wrist muscles are now integrated into the rest of my body and my core, essentially. So from here, I'm going to have this arm out, this same side knee up, and I'm going to teach my patients to drive my knuckles to the ceiling, like above my left eye. So I'm going to drive like that. And then I'm going to go to this elbow. When I get to this point, I can push again, leading from the arm. Eyes are following it to this position. That's really how I would start, and then I just go back to the same pattern. Come to center. I'm going to drive this across. This is a reaching. It's just, I remember when I did like SFMA, trying to learn to roll, and it was hard. Like, I had a really hard time with the rolling patterns, and I think part of it is because rolling, because I had developed compensations, I didn't have the input I needed to roll correctly. When we add a weight to people, we're giving them the input. We're reprioritizing how the body stabilizes. So many people think they can't do this because they can't do things like roll, or patients, for instance, who can't sit up, like I'll give them a weight. We'll do weighted medicine balls, sit-ups a lot of times, and they're like, I'm not going to be able to do that because I can't sit up without a ball. But interestingly enough, we'll do it later. Many people will find that when they can't sit up without load, they will be able to sit up with load because we're reprioritizing how their body's stabilizing. So let's try, everybody try just a quarter Turkish Get-Up with what I just did and see how that feels for you. Okay? I didn't let Taylor bring the lighter ones because, like I was just saying, like if you go too light, it may not work at all for you because it has to be heavy enough to at least, so just spread out, guys. I'll talk you through it again if you're not familiar with them. Jess, I'm sorry. Yeah, I can get you another one. Or I'll just do it after. Okay, so, yep, so same side leg is up. Yeah, let's pull this. If you're holding a kettlebell, hold it at the uppermost part of the rung. Yes, perfect. Good. Okay, good. All right, so aim your straight arm overhead. Yeah, Alicia, let's bring your leg out a little bit to the side. Yeah, so if your straight leg is out to the side a little bit, it'll give your body the diagonal sling that you want, right? So perfect. Now, that right arm, everybody's got right arm, that's good. You're going to push it towards the ceiling above on the left side of your body, above your left shoulder, and try to go all the way, push, drive till you get to your elbow. Yep, eyes stay up at it. Beautiful, you're almost there. Don't look at me. If you keep looking at the weight, you'll get there. So drive, push, 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 push. That's it. See how when you changed your eyes, it changed. Come back. When you looked at me and not the bell, you couldn't get up. But when you looked at the dumbbell, you were able to get up because of that integration. So do it again. Keep looking at the dumbbell. Beautiful. Now get to the hand. Beautiful. Keep looking at the dumbbell and then come down. You guys, when somebody's struggling with this, 2 to 3 reps is all you need. So let's switch sides, Alicia. They don't need a lot. They need input. They don't have to do 10. This is a hard, complex exercise. 3 to 5 reps per side. Beautiful. And then go to the hand. Great. And then come back down. I will point out, if we're really gonna think about how this affects the whole body as a system, when you come up, many of you will feel your leg want to internally rotate. Do your best to, it's okay if it does it temporarily as you're getting up, but at the top of the range, try to keep it in neutral. Yeah. Beautiful. Yep. And so if you're using momentum, like a little bit on that side, I might make you go heavier and see if it changes it. Yeah, good job. Jess, when Jess got stuck, I saw her push through the shoulder, which was through the right shoulder, through the open chain shoulder, which is exactly what we wanted there. Yep. Great job, guys. Awesome. How's that feel to everybody? Can you try this one? Especially in the left arm. No, I know, but like, you'll see, I think it'll be easier on you. See? How much easier? Right? I mean, kind of like Jess said, maybe it's not energy expenditure, it may not be easier, but did you feel how it was smoother?
Yes. I feel like I'm doing this, so do I want to be?
Yeah, ideally. I mean, it's okay. But what I liked about the second one you did is that you were able to get up easier because you had that feedback into the arm to drive. Right? Yeah, way better. So ideally at the top, your arms, can I borrow this for a second? Ideally at the top, your arms are going to be kind of in line with each other. Yeah, so drive here and then here. So I think you end up here a little bit. Yeah, you do kind of want to be slightly out, but that's not critical. Drive down, exactly. Anytime anything's in contact with the floor, we want to push that floor away. And then the next, let's bring this to the next, so the way I actually teach this with patients, so that's sort of bottom up. I'm gonna do this exactly the way I do it with most of my patients is, then I reverse the second half of that. So normally, for a get up, you'd go here, and then hand, and then you'd push and get this knee under you, right? And then you'd come up to half kneel. So I'll take patients and put them in this position. Now, instead of getting them to here, I'll have them go from here to sitting, and then back up. Sitting. You can do it with or without. So some patients, if they're afraid to load, let's do it without the load first. So everybody, so go essentially, actually this is the way I teach this. Let's do it this way. Everybody sit like this. Sit like you're chilling, watching TV. Good. Now you're going to shift onto your right side. Good. Lift your left hand up and bring it in close, like this. Good. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to push through your left leg and your right arm, and you're going to bring the right knee under where your butt was. Yep, and you want to try to find the femur vertical on the bottom leg. So push down, Get the femur vertical directly under the hip. Pull it back a little bit more. Yes. So this is seated to tripod transition. This is a rotational stability exercise. Looks really good. And then reach that arm up. And instead of reaching back like most people are tempted to do, I want you to reach up and push the floor away. Good. And then you're going to keep that bottom arm straight, pushing the floor away, and come back to that seated posture. Bring that arm in. Switch sides. Opposite side comes in like a jiu-jitsu athlete. And then you're going to push the floor away and put that left knee where your hip was. Good. And then push the floor away as you reach up. Bring the arm in. Come back to seated. Switch sides. Push. Get that knee under. And most people who have hip dysfunction have a really hard time finding where a vertical femur is. Cramp. Because you're working out of a plane you haven't probably worked in a long time. They're dead. They're dead in this plane. They're good at this plane, but they haven't been working in these rotational planes, right? So this is how we start to integrate them. And then once they've done that without wiping out on their face, then you can load it. And you can have them, so usually I'll have them in half kneel. I'll have them come down. You could just work this. A lot of times I'll just go half kneel, and if they don't have enough shoulder range of motion, you can also do this in front load. So here, right? But ideally we're getting them here, and then down, and then if they can handle it, then we'll go to here, and then back. You want to try it? Anybody? And if you don't want to, it's okay. This is where I was saying, like, earlier on this morning, which feels like 2 days ago. This might be heavy for you. So if you're going to go, so same side up, yeah. And honestly, I train both of these. Like, Danielle asked which leg is up, and I train both of these for patients. So there are times where I'll go this way, too. They're not going to go from there to the sitting. But like in the Turkish Get-Up way, it would be same side knee up. But there are times I'll just train this, too, because they're going to get a different, try that in fact. They'll get a different oblique stretch, and they'll get an adductor stretch, essentially. Feel it? So this is what I'm saying about like a core, teaching you guys how to think out of the box and treat the body as a system. If you have somebody with an adductor strain, let's just paint this picture. You have somebody who's getting chronic adductor strains. You look at their motion and they have an underlying shoulder stability deficit, which is not surprising because of that whole anterior line thing that we've talked about. This is a great way to challenge the shoulder stability and stretch the adductors at the same time. Great. Yeah.
As soon as I do that, I feel like I don't have the range like I did
with the weight.
Yeah.
Because
or I was in that child's pose and I went like this.
Exactly. Because you don't have this, because your stability patterns they're jumbled. Yeah. They're backwards. And so same reason why the band helps you squat deeper, same reason why the load helps you stretch deeper. It's because we're giving your body the stability fulfillment that it needs that it's missing from developmental sequencing. Yeah. Do you feel it? Yeah. Crazy, right? So think now about all the patients that we keep stretching their hips. And like if we just load their shoulder, if their problem isn't their hips, which oftentimes it's not, and we load their shoulders in a way that also allows their hips to move, we're rewiring the brain to teach it that, okay, my hips are safe to move because now my shoulder's doing what it's supposed to do. Or now my abs are doing what they're supposed to do. Or now my erector spinae is doing what it's supposed to do.